Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Polestar 2. Is the Polestar 2 just a Volvo vehicle? We've been looking at Polestar as a company for a very long time, but there's an important question that we haven't asked ourselves and we haven't spoken about. Is the Polestar 2 still a Volvo, or is it too much of a Volvo? Is there enough Polestar in the Polestar 2? Does it stand out from other Volvo vehicles? And that's a yes and no answer. Truthfully, if you look at the Polestar 2 compared to other Volvo vehicles, you will realize that they are indeed influential features. However, the car does stand out. It does look different from a Volvo. And I think that was the point. That's the reason why they made it the Polestar 2. However, there's still that Volvo DNA underneath the vehicle. But understand, Polestar, it's his own company now, still partly owned by Volvo and Geely, yes. Let's try to understand the characteristics of the vehicle. Polestar 2, it has been available in four-wheel drive version from the start. It includes two electric motors, one at each axle. Polestar is a company that was birthed by Volvo. Naturally, there are a lot of similarities, not just in the way they design the vehicles, but also as companies. Regardless of this, even the new Polestar 3, that's the SUV, that's the sport premium SUV, there are still characteristics and features that are very similar to a Volvo vehicle. EX90 electric SUV. That will be Volvo's flagship electric SUV, and it's said to be a stunning vehicle. I do believe that the chassis and other components are shared amongst the manufacturers. Now, when you step into the cabin, it's clear that there's Volvo vibes as well. The vehicle wheel is the same, although the logo in the center says Polestar. That's key. Now, the infotainment system in the middle of the vehicle, that is also in a portrait display, and that's very similar to a Volvo DNA of vehicle styling. Let's not forget that the interior, very European, very Swedish, and it's beautiful, but you can clearly see it was influenced heavily by Volvo, and that's a good thing because ultimately the Polestar 2 is a beautiful car, and truthfully, I wouldn't want to change anything with this vehicle. I know a lot of people out there do want to change the way the vehicle look, but I'd only change this vehicle if it increases the range, if it changes the range and it does benefit. If there's no added benefits to changing the look of this vehicle, I don't want them to, because at the end of the day, this vehicle looks completely different from any other electric vehicle on the road today. And you cannot disagree with that because you know it's true. There's no other vehicle, electric vehicle, that looks like a Polestar 2. And that is a good thing. I hope Polestar continues with this design and just improve on the range. Truthfully, it's a wonderful vehicle at the end of the day. Now, from the start, this vehicle was designed to be a Volvo prototype, a Volvo concept. And initially, I do believe this vehicle was designed to be a normal petrol vehicle. However, once the plans had changed, Polestar had to raise the ride height of this vehicle so they can fit the batteries beneath it. That's why this vehicle always looked a bit high off the ground, and that's normal. That's because they had to put a lot of battery underneath this vehicle, so they had to find a way for it to look good. And considering all of this, I'd say it looks pretty damn good. And I think this is something that they could improve on in the future. But let's not forget, having that heavy battery under the vehicle just means that it has an insane amount of downforce. It sucks itself to the ground. I've driven the Polestar 2, test drove it, and it's brilliant. Once you're speeding up through the corners, that vehicle really sticks to the ground like a Formula 1 car. It's really terrific. And that's very common with electric vehicles because there's so much low center of gravity. The vehicle really does hold itself to the ground and stay in contact, and it just lets you drive it through the corner instead of being unbalanced. It's well balanced, if anything. Now, to add to everything, Polestar did launch a front wheel drive variant of the Polestar 2. The range did improve and the price was falling at the time. And that's a good thing because ultimately this vehicle is not a cheap vehicle. In the UK, I believe it's like £43,000. And that's a starting price, by the way. So by no means is this a cheap vehicle, but it's not supposed to be. It is a premium, luxurious vehicle. I've been inside this vehicle and it is luxury at the best. At least what I consider to be luxury is definitely luxurious. Now, there's other stunning thing about the Polestar 2 as well. The car is equipped with Pilot and Plus package, which does bring up the price. However, I've tested these features and it's absolutely brilliant. It's remarkable to see. There are versions of this vehicle that do come with a panoramic roof, and it's cutting edge and it's pure glass through the roof, and it's beautiful at night and in the day. But what a lot of people who are interested in a Polestar vehicle are most curious about is the Polestar 2 long range, or rather the consumption of the Polestar 2 long range. Now, with a maximum speed limit of say 80 kilometers. Now, based on the information I've gathered, it says that Bornholm is a perfect place to get the most of the battery, but the motorway round trip from Copenhagen is not the electric vehicle's car's cup of tea. Nevertheless, the Polestar 2 delivers a nice electricity consumption of 20.5 kilowatts / 100 kilometers over the entire period. It also says how good the Polestar 2 is at regenerating when driven with just the accelerator. It is a function where the car engine brakes maximally, thus greatly reducing the need to brake with the brake disc. And I've tested this feature as well. It worked stunning. This feature probably took me about 5 minutes to get fully used to, but once I was used to this feature, it was absolutely incredible. I wish I had it in my car where I could just drive with one pedal. And let's not forget, this feature actually saves you energy. You gain miles by doing this. And it also means that you will rarely have to change your brake disc, which is absolutely stunning to know. I'm actually curious about people who've used this feature for a long time in their electric vehicle, and if they've ever had to change their brake disc. Because with such a feature, I don't imagine you'll ever have to change your brake disc. Especially if you're keeping a car for 10 to 20 years. I don't think you'll ever have to change your brake disc. Not with modern technology, that is. But that's our video today on the Polestar 2. Is it still a Volvo? Is it too much like a Volvo? Does it need to be changed more? If you've driven this vehicle, you'll probably be in love with it already, just like myself. So my opinions are definitely a little bit biased, but everyone is biased. And I'm okay with being biased because I really love the car. And to be perfectly honest, I'm happy that this vehicle is so heavily inspired by Volvo. I'm happy that it's heavily inspired by Volvo, but it also has its own identity. Because there's no other Volvo vehicle that looks the exact same to the Polestar 2. And there's no other electric vehicles that look similar to the Polestar 2. That puts it in a very unique category of vehicles, a Polestar. That is it. So thank you for watching today. Subscribe to see more. And of course, I'll see you in our next video.